G'day everyone, it's Warren here from NQ Explorers with Aquachigger, Beau Ouimette's here, Colleen, my other half of NQ Explorers, and local prospecting legend George Meyer. He used to have the NQ's miners den down there in Cairns. Today we're in a Chinese town, a little Chinese village. We're going to dig some Chinese relics, and then we're going to head further into private lease areas with permission. So I've been here on one occasion a couple of years ago with George, found some great Chinese relics in here. Let's get into it. I'll show you the settings today on the AT Max. I've got the 5x8 double D, iron on 35. I'm in custom mode, and I've got nothing notched out above the 40 mark. Sensitivity's on 7, and we're away. Where's my first repeatable target? Actually, it was my second. I got a little brass saddle stud. It's a brass washer, nice 65. Been part of I'd say it's off a saddle or some leather item from the 1880s. So as you can see here in this little Chinese community, we've got lots of broken glass and ceramic. Colleen's got a quarter cash and Beau's just hit a lovely 1 cash coin complete. So I'm not on the board yet, but I'm going to head up the hill that way and see what I can uncover. Okay, I'm on the board, hot on the tails of Beau's last coin. This beautiful 1 cash. Lovely 65. Look at the patina on that coin. That's beautiful, that one. That's really nice. As I said earlier, we'll get be able to date these from the mint marks on the back and the Emperor Reign date, so you get a range. But they're the oldest metal objects you'll did in Australia that's not gold. Old Chinese coins. 17th century, 18th century, early 19th century. That's a ripper. That's in great nick too. Righto, so Beau's just dug some opium tin fragments just up there behind the pick. I've done the same thing. I've got that cash coin over there. Remains of an old structure. Here you can see the rocks, possibly a fire pit, but definitely a hut. And I've got a smashing 80 up amongst some quartz rubble. And I've got what I'll be confident to call a English halfpenny. So we'll date this one. It won't be like the Emperor Reigns on the Chinese coins. It'll be an imperial coin. But I need to max out of your way there so you're not getting on the audio. There it is there. Just leaning up against the quartz. The reason the halfpenny's here, obviously the European miners, Australians, were in here with the Chinese in this camp, and they had to exist in the local community and spend money. Oh, wait a minute, it's not a halfpenny at all. That's a half cash, and that rang up 80, but it's quite thick. Have a look at that. That's magnificent. That's in that that patina, that brass underneath, shining away in the sun after 150 years. That's half cash. That's an absolute ripper, that one. If you're detecting these old Chinese camps, you're going to get a lot of this stuff. Cut brass, fragments of brass, brass strips, supply tins, and often opium tins. So put them in your pocket. Don't just leave them there, because often they've got Chinese characters on them and they can be part of a Chinese opium tin or some sort of supply canister or container. Lots of this kind of cut brass. Right, I'm going to go a live dig here, that bit of degraded cow manure. Could be hiding something here. Now have a look at this, listen to this. Solid compact, rock solid, 59.60. I'm pretty confident that's going to be a Chinese coin. 1 cash coin, right in the manure there. Won't be far down. Let's see it come out live if we're lucky. This ground, as you can see, it's a dry season here in North Queensland, so it's typical of what you'd find, and it's a gravelly location. So this is the kind of conditions. You're not going to dig any plugs out here. It's all prospecting picks, and lots of water getting drunk. Oh, okay, it's out. We can see that come out. It'll be up in this mullock heap here. So there it is. There we go. I just love finding these Chinese coins. It's a great relic of the Australian goldfields. And even though they weren't integrated into society and they were often ostracised, or always they were on the edge of town in their own little villages, really the Chinese, via their market gardens and their stores, who supplied the miners, kept these little towns out in the bush alive. Of course the towns aren't here anymore, but probably weren't viable without the Chinese, who were not integrated into society and lived out in the fringes, and they used their own cash coins. They had their own society and their own cash society. Made a big difference to these goldfields. Made them viable, if you like, so it's a great piece of history. Where we're detecting now where this Chinese village was, you can see the creek line down in there. That's dry at the moment. It was they were mining in there, so this is where they were camped, up above. That's where we're on this flat. Typically, as you would these days, you're going to look for a good flat spot to camp. On the other side, as you can see, it's a hill, a ridge line. You're going to camp up there. And so they all gathered here at night, and this is their main social and supply area for the Chinese diggers that were all up and down this creek line here.
Okay, this is my first target for the day. It's a solid 52. So yeah, so I'll just unearth it a bit and see what we've got. Okay, there we have it. It's a Chinese coin, but it's only a quarter of it. Right here. Okay, I'm not sure if we'll get any sort of markings off that to know how old it is. Okay, not too far away. I don't know if it's the same coin or not, but another piece of Chinese coin. Okay, this target's a higher target. It's 64, and that's it, just under the ground there, so it's not too far away. That's with the, yeah, so hopefully this might be a full Chinese coin. Okay, so I've recovered that target. It's a solid 64, but looks like it might just be a piece of lead. I'll give it a wash and see, but yeah, it might just be a chunk of lead.
Right, I'm still working this tiny area here, concentrating on this hot spot. And I just got a target that surprised me. It shouldn't have. It was a 75, 77, and it's a half cash coin. Now the full cash, which is a much larger diameter cast brass, around the 62 to 68 on the AT Max and any of the Garrett AT machines. This one's pinging up a lot higher than that. It's because it's more conductivity, there's more brass. Obviously the half cash, but a thicker coin. Let's get out of the shade there. These coins are in magnificent condition. I mean, it's dry here now, but when the wet comes, it's soaking wet. But have a look at the patina under there. They'll clean up beautifully. We'll do some still shots on the cleanup. I love these cast brass coins. Look at that irregular square hole there. That's a ripper. Okay, just got another cash coin. We're having a great run here this morning. Another 70s, low 70s. Oh, look at that. That is beautiful, that one. That is beautiful. Be interesting to see the emperor dates off these. We'll line them up and we'll subtitle and categorise them into the years of the emperor's reign. Pretty sure I'm on another coin here. Lift up the side of this ground is so hard. No, it's not a coin. It's a little brass ring of some description. I don't know what that is. It was a 68, 70. That might have some. It's got some decoration. It could be a cane ferrule or something. The Chinese wouldn't be walking around with canes, but it's not an ammunition round. I'll have a look at it and report back.
This is a solid 64, 63, 64. Not too far down. The last one was a bit of lead, I think, so we'll just see what this one comes out to be. So this was my next target. Looks like a bit of tin. It's folded over there, so I'm not sure if it's actually part of a tin. This is a bit of a surface find. I'm not really sure what it is. But it was a good signal, but I'm not. Can't even think of what it might be. In this area, there's lots of bits of glass around. So might be lucky enough to find a coin on the surface.
Well, here's my next find. It's fairly typical of these cast brass coins, is that they snap. They're not struck, they're cast. So they're quite fragile, really. And I got a half cash, it's half a cash. It was a pretty scratchy signal in amongst a few bottle and ceramic fragments and lots of iron. But I may still get an Emperor's Reign date off that. I've got a target here that's half okay. Well, it's better than half okay. Could be a bit of opium tin, brass, but maybe a half cash. They're all about 2 or 3 inches down. They're not shallow, even though this ground appears hard at the moment. It softens up in the wet season. So relics do sink into the ground, and they're well buried often. Okay, we got it out here. Bring it up in the mullah keep. There. What can it be? Not seeing everything's the same colour, it's all grey. I've got something here, but I don't think, no, that is a bit of brass scrap. Let's just check it with the machine. I think I might have missed it there. Might still be in the ground. Oh, I've got a 55-65 rough. Still there. In the ground here. So let's see. I might have dug it out yet. Man, it's dry. Okay, wherever the target was is now here. Yeah, I think it's scraps of brass tin everywhere. Brass tin. Brass container. Yep. Okay, that last live dig I did, which looked pretty disastrous, you just saw it. Well, I've got the brass scraps. I checked it again and I've got a 52, 53, and I've got a part of a cash coin. You can see the Chinese character there. That's a ripper. Well, this Max with the 5x8 is just awesome. It doesn't come with that cord, it's an accessory. I've got an 1/8 of a cash coin. It picked out a 55-60 out of a heap of iron just here. Look at this little piece of coin. It just broke up and got busted up in saddle bags and dilly bags and that sort of thing, I guess. So you can see the edge of it there and a bit of a Chinese character.
Okay, looks like it's in this area here, because it's a solid tone. Over here it's a bit striky, so it must be just under here. And it was coming up at a 67, so I'll dig that. Okay, so I've recovered it, and it's a Chinese coin. Yes, oh, it's beautiful too. That should clean up very nicely. And yeah, full Chinese coin. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So I'll be able to find what dates on that and everything. So which emperor it belonged to, and that's good. Okay, this is my next signal. It's a bullet. It looks a bit different. It looks like it might be quite old. So someone might know what it actually is. Okay, it's another bullet. Exactly the same as the other one. So I'd say there may be more and just continue on. They're nice solid signals, so it's always nice to actually dig the solid ones. So.
Well, this next coin was a difficult recovery. There was tons of iron around it, but in the middle was a squeaky 7980. Get that in the afternoon sun. A lovely definition on that coin. Get my hand out of the way in the shadows of the leaves. That's an absolute ripper, that one. They're all in great nick, these Chinese coins, even the fragments. Here's another possible one. Look how jumpy it is. But it's a bit high, probably iron. Okay, I can hear the iron. But maybe in the middle of that iron, we've got something better. Because see that 75 hits now and then. It breaks up. That's a tough one, but we'll have a crack at it. Well, we've got a bit of a breeze here. Hope the audio's okay. You can see I pulled the ground back there. Shallow rocky scrape. It's a 62 jumping into the 70s. Possibly a coin at some weird angle. Chinese coin. But we'll soon find out. Could be a piece of opium tin, but it's pretty consistent in two directions. Ah, it's moved. Up in here somewhere, where the carrot is. Bit of crockery there. Lots of little iron targets in here. Well, let's check it again with the machine, because I haven't seen anything that's hit all that iron. But you obviously can't discriminate with a pinpointer. So let's have a look where this high tone target is. Oh, no, it's still on the ground. 57, that sounds pretty good for a coin of the Chinese variety. Up in here, so it's still underground. Waiting to see a bit of sunlight here. There it is, look at that. Just saw the sunlight. Did you see that pop out of there? Look at that, that is fantastic. Cash coin. Little nick in the rim, that's not me. It's part of history. What an absolute ripper. Right, well, I haven't seen Colleen, Beau or George for over an hour. I've got no idea where they are. This area we get all these coins here has been great. And there'll be more here, but I'm going to move up the hill and see what else we can discover further up the ridgeline. And let's see what else they're discovering.
Okay, this next signal, I thought it was just going to be another one of those bullets, but it's a little bit of a surprise. It's another Chinese coin, but it's the one cash. The last one I found was a half cash, and this is the bigger coin, and it's the one cash. Beautiful. You can see the markings on it there. It's quite well preserved, so it should really be easy to identify which emperor period this one came from. Oh, I'm quite excited about that. So that's a half cash and a one cash I found. Okay, I've just found a rivet, a saddle rivet. Very conductive, but okay, this was my next find. It's something a little bit different. It's a little brass stud. Okay, there we have it. It's an old shotgun bullet. Just the shell. So I didn't pick up one of those today, but I'm sure there's plenty more. So that's about a 57, solid signal. That could be, sounds like a Chinese coin, but well, it's not actually a Chinese coin. It's a bit of brass, I think. So we'll continue on. Okay, that's 56 to 58, that's signal, so I'll dig it. Okay, so this is it. I've just dug it up. It's another This one's the half cash size.
Right, we're going to get live again. Let's have a look at this one. Haven't really left my coin zone. Up in there with a right there-ish. It's a low 60s, a little bit jumpy, but I don't think it's going to be brass, tin, scrap. It's a solid, more compact and non-linear sort of thing. Yep, in the hole still. A bit of topsoil here. That's a rocky further up the slope. Bit wet, bit strange. So we'll loosen it up, pull it out, see what we got. I'm getting a bit of depth here now. Take the sides off. Colour change in the soil below the topsoil. So it's a deeply buried artefact, let's call it. What can it be? Alright, we're a fair way down now, about 6 inches. And it's out. It's way up here somewhere. Out of shot probably. Yeah, did you see that avalanche and the coin in it? That's a beauty, that one. That was deep. Let's check that with the pinpointer. Okay, that's, yep, 6 inches to the bottom of that hole. That's where it came out. And there she is. That's glorious, that one. Really nice. Amazing how deep the relics get in this hard, dry soil. It just shows you how much it softens up in the wet. But of course, there's been 150 years of storms and rain and cyclones pushing soil down across it. Another bit of Chinese history comes to light. Check out this next fragment. I've got it on this rock for display purposes. A little squeaky tone in amongst all the iron, and it's a coin fragment. It kept losing it, it was flipping around, and then finally isolated it.